Everything in front of us is enemy.
Roger that.
That is definitely not the start you want to a round. What's up, everyone? We're diving into a breakdown of another clan fight, and this go round we had the Turkish Land Forces facing off against the British Armed Forces. These two rounds took place on a modded version of Mutaha, and we have plenty to talk about with regards to the strategy and how this all played out. So before we get to it, hit the subscribe button, leave a like, drop a comment down below with your thoughts, and let's start breaking this down. So first and foremost, I want to get something out of the way. I don't think that the Turkish Land Forces have really great IFVs or vehicles, and I think it's a little bit of a travesty they don't have some sort of hat kit. Now granted, they have less expensive tows, but the PARS is not really going to be a great fight against a warrior. And that was the fight for this matchup, was two warriors against two PARS with a 25mm cannon, not ACVs, which would have been a little more beefy. Additionally, there were two M60 tanks against two challengers. Either the British Armed Forces needed some sort of reduction in what vehicles they had in terms of the warrior and the challenger, or the TLF needed an extra tank or something along those lines to help balance what this fight was, maybe even ACVs instead of PARS. So the map is Mutaha, and I had some concern that this was probably going to be a 7-point layer, meaning 3 back caps before we get to the middle cap. Now it is a RAS start, but the middle caps are 50-50 between ammo warehouse and police station. So what did I think the British Armed Forces were going to do at the start of this round? Well, considering their main is a little bit further north, they have a pretty good route through the upper portion of the western side of the city and hitting the north side of ammo warehouse. We have a little bit more of a favorable position for ammo warehouse, but still they can rush it and keep us off of it, and that would be not ideal for us capping middle point. Of course, there is the main MSR straight into the intersection checkpoint area of the middle of the map. Additionally, they could take a southern route or just dive to police station, which is favorable to their side of the map anyway. So for our TLF rollout, I came up with a sort of basic strategy just to push ammo warehouse and the east side of police station as quickly as possible. However, in retrospect, this was probably not the ideal strat, and we'll get to that a little bit later. So first, I knew that we might be down a few players, so I was going to ask the MBT squad to push the first objective and get a cap while they waited on their vehicles. We had an orange squad rolling out in a helicopter. This was going to be a full infantry squad moving up to try to put a fob down on the east side of police station. Green squad would help us by capping second and third objective and potentially setting up a defense if middle points aren't going very well. And we had blue squad moving in a logistics vehicle and a light vehicle into ammo warehouse to apply pressure and set up a fob. Then we had Cayenne squad, which was the squad ISL'd, which was a smaller infantry squad. We were going to be moving in one of the Cobra M2s to try to disrupt anything they might send to middle point, specifically at police station on the southern side. Within this rollout, we'd already discussed positions for tows and possible fob marks so that we could hopefully get some control over this area and get tows to at least control the northern side above ammo warehouse to keep vehicles from pushing that objective. Now you've already seen this, but I want you to note that there's something burning in the river, which is actually our helicopter that was dropping a fob here on the east side of police station. They got the troops down and the radio down, but this position is kind of already compromised because the helicopter carcass is going to lead folks right to the radio. So we're on the southern side of the middle island, scooting around to try to intercept the vehicles over here, and you've already seen us get smoked. Something that a lot of new players don't always know is that if you're on something like an M2 in a vehicle, if you can just light up the front windshield, you will do some damage, potentially killing everybody inside long before you kill the vehicle. It's just unfortunate that the way their vehicle was turned probably protected the gunner just a little bit more so than having our front windshield facing their gun. So unfortunately, at the very beginning, we've already lost our vehicle, the infantry inside of it, plus our helicopter has already been downed. I called into our teammates setting up the fob on the eastern side of police station to be prepared because there is infantry presence obviously already at police station. And if you notice, there's already an infantry presence at ammo warehouse. So their strat basically mirrored what our plan was. So because the HAB was coming online here near police station, I had my guys respawn here to help try to reinforce this area and hold this position.
Killed one pushing me.
Are we planning on setting up a tow on either the north or south of the map?
Killed two pushing me.
I will get HAB down and I can get a tow down.
Perfect.
Moving up. We're on the north of us right now.
can't shoot with this gun, dude.
So I also need to acknowledge that I am terrible with this gun. The TLF weapon is pretty strong. You saw that I got a couple easy kills, but man, when that thing starts bouncing around, it is just crazy to control. I just don't have a lot of time in this, but ultimately what I'm realizing too is I'm the only person that made it across the main road. So now my time here is obviously very limited. This has now put our radio at risk here at police station, especially considering the hab is offline. Additionally, on the north end at Ammo Warehouse, it still looks like we're fighting for control over that area. So we end up spawning at main, grabbing another Cobra and moving up to get a rally down because now our objective is just to try to save this radio. I also know that their warriors are nearby police station, so we have to be extra cautious about how we make this push.
They're looking for our radio. I hear their warrior. There's one southwest, but I don't see it.
The radio's safe for now, too. They're just all in the ham building.
I got one looking for it over here. They are searching. I need help. I need help. I need help. They're closing in on this radio.
The dead chopper kind of gets
I only see
away.
infantry, no vehicle.
I'm moving up as well. I don't have an angle over here.
Five, do you have vision on the tank?
You need me to.
The enemy tank spotted.
Both tanks on my
Killed
attack.
one near observe.
We're just self-destructing the E5 radio.
Understood.
So, should I wait for that radio to go down? Build the one on the east suburb?
I'd go ahead and get one up, dude. We're gonna be on defensive here. They have total control of the island.
Right here, Vic, pushing towards us from the southwest.
Logic.
Logic.
Light that up. Moving south in the water.
More than front,
Oh,
one
shit!
front. Out in the back.
What the hell? It hit a tree. I'm sorry, outlaw.
Enemy Logi moving south past us. We've decrewed most of it.
So as you probably noticed, it looks like we deterred the Logi from crossing the river onto our side of the map. We also finally get a fob set up near our third position to help with defense because now we've pretty much lost any capability of making an easy push onto the island. With them holding Ammo Warehouse and holding the southern side here, we're in a little bit of a pickle. We can't really make a good push, and they do a pretty good job of spreading out their infantry to keep us from really finding any foothold. So I'm trying to wrap around on the southern side to get a rally down, and unfortunately they're spotting me, even though I'm kind of a ways out, but that just means they're going to hold some infantry here, which makes sense. To some degree, I just want to rally down to apply pressure here so that they can't move that infantry forward for an attack.
All right, we got a little bit more because of the building.
Wouldn't want to go too far because I'll proxy.
7 heading towards enemy.
Hey, 7, the enemy warriors on us.
Enemy launch on spot 1.
Back in for 7.
That didn't work, guys. They're just watching south.
Another
it
half
inside?
coming up north of.
I don't know where to tell you, man.
Both enemy helos on
I
spot
thought it sounded like it was behind
That's
me.
what it sounded like. It was.
So largely our team is on the defensive. We have 2 fobs set up, one to the north, one to the south. We also need to get toes up, which are still not built yet. However, we have an issue that you'll see sort of later as the match progresses, that no one is really spawning on that northern objective, which is, I think, communication outpost. Now, that is a solid position to hold, especially given how far north east suburbs is. So now we have something on either side of that to deter the enemy from being able to push in. The southern hab can watch the west and the south. The northern hab can watch the north along with the west to make sure that this area stays sealed up. But if no one really spawns there, then it becomes an issue in the long run. But we get our rally up, so we're going to make a little push and see what we can find in police station. Maybe apply more pressure here that gives us an opening to be able to attack.
Choose a position. Good.
Logi's here as well.
Okay, let's try to do this quietly. We need to find radio.
Don't go far.
Oh, yeah. BP, I need you to spawn on rally, and I'm going to send you on a little scout. want you to head towards Bravo, see if you find anything that looks like there might be a fob down there at Four Corners.
Alright, I got 19.
Roger that.
Supplies for HAB, Commander.
Copy, thank you.
Enemy helicopter landing east side next to spot 4 arrow point. Thanks.
Light big on
Had to
Bravo.
engage.
I got you.
There's a tow on my build.
There's heavy
Yes,
destroyers
just
on top.
heading for the shopper.
There's a guy on top and a tow.
Warrior might be coming back
Yeah,
if
he's
you
on
can
the
man
tow
the
build.
tow.
I'm dead.
going. Infantry push into the G4 compound.
So in retrospect, Rally was probably way too close to where they were because it gets burned. And unfortunately, we got wiped on that push. Apparently, a couple of them were on top of buildings, almost waiting for us once they heard us to approach. So since our Rally got burned, we're going to go and grab another vehicle from main and see if we can set up somewhere else. We're also going to check Four Corners, a position southwest of police station, to see if there's an enemy fob there, which would likely be their third point before police station. We have a helicopter scouting ahead in the desert because we do know their tanks had an early fob out in the desert for a repair station. So we're going to make sure that they took that down. At this point, it's just about trying to get tickets because I know that the vehicle battle has not been kind to us because of sort of the disadvantage that our team has against the British Armed Forces.
Oh no. Fuck him out.
I'm bleeding.
It sounds like he's chasing.
Fuck is it? I cannot barely see him. I can't even see him over this fucking hill.
There you go.
Good
Good shit. All right, LPPB
He
dead.
dead.
So after taking down the LPPV, we move in closer to the Four Corners area, again, southwest of police station. We're able to get down a Rally. However, we hear the Warrior sort of nearby, closer to police station, floating, and it seems to be moving in our direction. So we start moving the vehicle around and then end up getting another call that another LPPV is coming close to us. So they've already started engaging us at where we're placing our new Rally, meaning that they're just keeping pretty good tabs on what's going on around that objective. Now, from a defensive perspective, it seems like we're holding. Although the vehicle situation is not great, we are still holding that space with their tanks mainly hanging out north of these suburbs. One Warrior is somewhere over there, and we have one Warrior still kind of hanging out around where we are, playing more defensively. Ultimately, the main thing that the team wants to do now is try to prevent from giving up any more caps. If we give another cap, it gives the other team tickets, and we're trying to keep that ticket differential as small as possible so that once we go into the next round, if we can somehow manage to hold on to more tickets or do a little bit better in terms of the rollout and the progression, maybe we win just based off ticket to ticket between the rounds. So for example, if they win this round, we win the next round, we can potentially still have a win overall based on the ticket difference. So we're able to get our Cobra out of the way because the Warrior is still kind of like roaming around this area, but our infantry is basically stuck between that and the infantry that they have sitting near police station looking west. So we're really not making much progress in this area.
Armor's on Charlie.
Oh, we got some north. MG north.
I'm coming back.
One of their warriors is still south of police.
I'll try to get eyes north, see what the fuck that is.
On the main road.
On mark by police station.
So we get a call that there's an LPV north of my guys on the river line. We're going to try to stay away from the warrior and see if we can take out the LPPV that's up here to give us a little bit more freedom, but I don't think this is going to make much progress overall.
Tank retreated north. Copy. Possibly way back to where the tow is for repair. There's enemy warrior and infantry on the hab, it's gone.
He's still on basically Charlie.
Warriors on radio station.
Enemy tow on police station.
Hey, I got my turret immediately.
He's dead.
Nice, nice.
Nice jump with the tow.
That tow might shoot you.
They can't see me.
Hab's dug north of suburban radio.
Just saw another light Vig crossing the middle bridge. There's
Yeah,
the
dude.
concrete bridge. Heading eastbound.
So in the meantime of the fight with the LPPV, we lost our northern fob. It's less and less likely that we're going to be able to make any sort of significant push. They are well aware of our presence, just crossing the sill and seeing a few guys on the rocks, just watching our direction. They seem to be utilizing communications well, so we are sort of trapped at the moment. We can kind of get out, or we can continue to sort of mess around and keep their warrior at least distracted so it doesn't also push onto the offensive. We're in a position where we've got less than 20 minutes left and a little under 130 tickets. So now you got to start thinking about what we can do to cause them the most bleed on their ticket count.
Right next to you.
Alright, wheels back up.
Right, let's get out.
They're taking our tow on the 6 marker.
They got a marksman on Charlie. Fucking north.
Multiple.
Enemy came. Enemies on northern side on cab zone.
Whoa,
Behind us?
southeast.
Yeah.
Southeast, more southeast.
Tanks, watch out, I'm clearing the building, just blasted.
Oh, he's up on some rocks.
Ruben.
Got one. Oh, yeah, there's more southeast up on the rocks near Charlie.
Hey, Axe Warrior, we have some dudes down here shooting us from my move. If you're able to lay down some shots.
Trying to get eyes. Yeah, I'm trying to get eyes from
Enemy
here.
tank and
Oh,
rep
yeah.
Friendly Vic is trying to help us.
Rep station on my mark. Copy that. Enemy tank, accurate mark. In the north side, accurate mark.
If you drop a commander class.
7 warriors coming back.
That's up.
Enemy tank, accurately marked.
Watch out, warrior, warrior, warrior.
On squad 1 observed.
So enemy warrior closing in from the north.
Behind us, west, behind us, west,
From
behind
due
us, west. They're behind us.
On the
Actually,
bridge.
two
On the
tanks
bridge
right here.
crossing.
So, yeah.
After that death, there's just nothing we're going to be able to do over there that's going to result in something very helpful for our team. So after the rally burns, I just tell the guys to start respawning on our location or holding spawn. We only got about 2.5 minutes left in the round, so we're trying to hold on to whatever tickets we can. I know that towards the end of this round, we were actually able to take out, I think, both of their MBTs and maybe one of their warriors. Not entirely sure, but we were able to do some vehicle damage. And of course, we've held on to our defensive position. I think there's a few things that I would have changed with the rollout in terms of how we attack middle. Maybe we needed to combine our entire push onto ammo warehouse or get some sort of better foothold. We may have been too aggressive with where I wanted to position the fobs in order to get that foothold, thinking that maybe they would position more on the western side, we'd position on the eastern side and sort of fight it out over the middle area, which I think would have lended more towards what we were capable of. You know, I also think sending our light vehicle to the north and maybe adding in another light vehicle to secure ammo warehouse, even if we were slower on backups, probably would have been ideal, because the enemy team, like I said, mirrored sort of what we were trying to do. And unfortunately, it worked out in their favor. I think we really needed to capitalize on that position, because then we needed to get a tow up quickly to sort of offset some of the vehicle differential we faced from the majority of the round. Once you give good MBT crews a position in the desert to hold down, it's going to be tough to dislodge them from that area. I think countering their IFVs, the main thing that we can do is get them into the city and try to just lat them until they just cannot move through that area. We needed that position set up on ammo warehouse and make that area just a hell for vehicles to travel within and just slowing them down. And of course, that's even risky within itself, because then you're spreading out some forces to east suburb and ammo warehouse, especially if the point is police station, right? So we're still having to attack. It's kind of tough all the way around, but the rollout just didn't work out. Thankfully, we saved those 2 radios. We just weren't able to hold ground. Not to mention, we didn't have like a vehicle reinforcement on ammo warehouse or in that position, because the PARs are at a disadvantage against the warrior. So you can't even just send those vehicles in to disrupt the enemy at all, because they're just going to get absolutely melted by the warrior turret. The TLF obviously operates a variety of vehicles in the PARs grouping. Like they have the grenade launcher, they have the M2, they have a 25mm. It sort of takes all of them to really do great mech infantry pushes, because you can do a lot when you have the variations working in unison. Now, if you only have a couple of them, you can still do a lot, but it just doesn't always add up to what you need to face off against some heavy duty IFVs on the other side. But kudos to the enemy team, because they went to the specific areas that they needed to, mirroring what we were going to do, and basically held and pushed us off those positions. And during this round, we only lost 1 radio when there was the potential to lose a total of 3 because of our middle fobs. And frankly, the transition to defense wasn't all that bad. We were able to shift into a sort of defensive mode and still hold on to some tickets. The TLF, I think, is just an interesting faction, and I haven't quite mastered or figured out how to utilize the faction in its maybe best form. And I think you'll see some interesting similarities in terms of how the following round went when we played as the British Armed Forces, in terms of the overall ending score and where things were at. So I hope you all enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments, and I'll see you for the next round of Operation Dragon Breath, where we play the British Armed Forces.